Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thank you for being here. Very exciting. You know, we're on Inauguration Eve. It's Inauguration Eve today.
Yeah. So excited for it.
Oh, gosh.
Like, what do you typically do on January 20th every 4 years?
Typically, I party hard all day.
Like,
but
what does that mean?
That just means...
Funeral casserole? Or funeral potatoes, I mean?
Well, sure. Funeral potatoes are a must at any celebration or mourning event. You know, like an event where you mourn. Not an event that happens in the morning.
Well played.
See what I mean?
Oh, boy. So here we are.
It's, as predicted, I believe, around November 10th. Joe Biden found his way to the presidency. So it wasn't stopped. No miracle happened along the way. Unless something happens today that'd be pretty amazing and allows President Trump 4 more years. That'd be great, but it's just not going to happen. So here we are with what? Now they're saying, I think, 25,000 troops in Washington, D.C. Again, more than the troops we have in Iraq and Afghanistan combined are guarding Washington, D.C. right now. Just
that doesn't sound like
sad.
Fun.
It doesn't sound like America either.
Yeah.
And it's so bad with these Democrats that they suspect the National Guardsmen, especially the white male ones, of some sort of insider attack. Like it would come from the National Guard themselves. That's what Democrats are all worried about right now. Because that is who they are. They're despicable, lying, un-American sacks of crap. It's just unbelievable. They've got these poor guys defending the nation's capital, sleeping on the marble floor in the Capitol building hallways. It's just unbelievable. So here we are on the eve of the transition of power and watching everybody on the right being shut down. Anybody who tries to speak out. And by the way, these are the same people that are chasing customers off of Twitter and Facebook because supposedly they're telling incredible lies. They're the same people who are telling us that babies in the womb aren't human, that gender means how you identify in your head, not what's in your pants. Men can have periods. The summer of Antifa and BLM violence was peaceful. But you are the science denier. Okay, just keep that in mind. Then they belittle you because you're concerned about the Democrat socialist agenda, which we're told isn't, of course, socialism, even though it fits the very definition of it. And as they tell us how scary it is that there are Republicans who have sort of, I guess, glommed on to extreme right-wing ideology or theories. Communists, hardcore, card-carrying communists are supporting the Democrat Party. I mean, there's just no self-awareness there. Just no self-awareness. So on the first day of the Biden administration, we've been told that he's going to issue an executive order on mask mandates. Okay. I guess that will be the transportation thing. If you're driving across state lines, you got to be wearing a mask.
Okay.
If you're flying, obviously you're going to have to wear a mask. You already do. Trains, whatever transportation that's crossing state lines and becomes a federal issue, you're going to have to wear a mask. Probably in all federal buildings as well. And on the first day, he's also going to submit a letter to rejoin the ridiculously incompetent World Health Organization. That's just madness. Then he'll rejoin the worthless, in every way imaginable, Paris Climate Agreement as well. Even though the UN panel on climate change has said the United States doesn't need to be in it. We're already exceeding everything in that agreement because that agreement was worthless and everybody knows it. Everyone knows it, including, by the way, Al Gore. Need I remind you of what he had to say about it?
Even if all 195 nations, not 194, met their targets, it still wouldn't solve the problem.
That is correct. However, it sends a very powerful signal to business and industry and civil society and countries around the world.
That is correct. However, it sends a very powerful signal. So we're sending powerful signals now. It doesn't really matter what the outcome is. It doesn't really matter what you're actually doing. You're not solving the problem in any way, but you're sending a very powerful signal.
Which is precisely what masks do. They send a signal and nothing else.
Seriously, that's what that's all about. Absolutely. Then, of course, Joe Biden on day one is going to reimpose all of the ridiculous environmental restrictions that they loved so much before Donald Trump actually rescinded some of them.
Yeah.
Eliminated many of them.
Including the Keystone Pipeline, which Justin Trudeau is like, hey, we need to chat, Joe.
Jeez,
when you've got Justin Trudeau trying to talk sense into your leadership.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Oh. And naturally, he's got a laundry list of executive orders on racial equality, all kinds of that stuff that will no doubt cripple Whitey, which is the goal now of Democrats. He plans to destroy any improvements we've made on the border and terminate the emergency border wall building that was being done. So all of that, all of the materials that were taken down to the border to build the wall with, that's all going to sit there and rot. They're not. What are they going to do with it? It's already down there. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to say, hey, you know what? We should probably put that somewhere for safekeeping and not waste it and let it rust and rot over the next decade or century.
Yep.
It's just going to lay there. It's going to sit there.
Or we're going to have to pay companies they've talked about to store these materials.
Yeah.
The federal government's going to have to take your tax dollars as opposed to the tax dollars already used to pay for those materials and put them in place.
And that'll be a $30 billion job for some company that can actually carry that off. That'll be great. So the other thing he'll do, this is day one stuff. And even if he doesn't get it done in the first day, the first 100 days are just going to be an absolute nightmare. He'll destroy any improvements in the lives of Americans that President Trump oversaw.
Yeah,
that's his goal.
Yeah, a Canadian journalist was privy to the 23 various executive orders and different things that they want to accomplish on day one. And I will tweet that out. We'll get that out at Pat Unleash if you want to check that out.
Yeah, we talked about some of them, but there's a good list of them that includes COVID changes.
Yeah, you've covered a lot of these already here.
Climate change, racial equality, economy, governmental process, LGBTQIA2+ improvements, and then some miscellaneous stuff. So, we'll tweet that out.
That will be really good. Right now, if you want some, a way to kind of make it through, though, day one, you could always play, the inauguration bingo that Comrade Snoobage created for us. So if you're watching the Joe Biden
Comrade Snoobage
speech,
it's great.
It's kind of a drinking game there, if you will.
So bingo tomorrow. It's I don't know if we have any prizes on the line.
No. This is just
for fun.
Yeah, for fun when you're watching Joe Biden. The only way to make it tolerable.
So it's not Pat Gray bingo. It is Joe Biden inauguration day.
Pat Gray bingo returns in March.
I like this though. So here's what. Here's the squares. Biden messes up numbers.
Oh yeah.
You got to believe that's a gimme. That's a gimme. 100 days. Masks. Dark days ahead. Alt-right, right-wing, Proud Boys. Oh yes.
coming.
That's coming. Executive order. Harris administration. Not sure that'll be...
He's done it before, man.
Yes, he has done it. Yep. Unity exponentially.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of exponential.
I want that one.
Confuses who people are. Energy/coal. Mispronounced word. Can't read teleprompter. Come on, man. Coward. Call someone a name. So it doesn't have to be coward. It could be whatever. Yeah. Jogs? You think he's going to jog to the podium?
Yeah, I don't know. He's only like 2 feet away, so probably not. Who knows?
Forgets his thought and where he is.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I can't wait.
What if in the middle of the speech he forgets that he's the president? Oh, no.
Anybody be surprised?
Nope.
First day, the thing. My son, Bo. Oh, that's a free square, right?
Yeah, that should have been the free square.
Patriotic duty. Look. Another free square. Look. Shut up. Again, anytime the sentence starts with look from a Democrat, you know he's about to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Trump, other previous administration, tough talk attitude, some story from the old days, and mandate.
Ooh.
Can we please? I mean, come on now. Can we?
Point of personal privilege.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Oh,
sure.
no.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
That's a really good point. Thank you for the reminder.
Okay.
So, woman date, people date, whatever. There you go. So
well, then
that's for tomorrow.
Speciesism.
Oh, that's true.
So, I mean,
there's just really nowhere to go with this stuff. I don't know.
So if you go to Pat Unleashed on Twitter, you can find that bingo card right there at the old top of the page.
Download it and get ready for some fun over the next several
4 years.
Mm-hmm. If they last that long. I don't think they will. Seriously, I'm still saying 6 months to a year, and he's out.
By what means?
Cognitive disability.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think is going to happen. We'll see. I mean, I'm certainly not wishing that on anybody. Pat Gray said ropes. That's not what I said. Also, this Project Veritas situation this time that has caught people saying more bizarre things undercover has actually made a difference this time a little bit. People are paying a little bit of attention to it. There's been people who've been fired this time around from the things that Project Veritas has uncovered. And there's, of course, more of it. Project Veritas talking about this time they're undercover with Twitter, and Twitter is talking about banning conservatives. Now, they are very careful not to say the word conservatives or conservatism, but all the catchwords, all the knee-jerk words that they're afraid of are all used here. Hate, hate speech, all of that garbage. Like there's none of that going on with anybody else. It just happens to be that all of the hate speech is coming from conservatives.
Duh.
Huh. Really hateful people we are. So here's Project Veritas, Twitter on banning conservatives. Cut one.
Beyond de-amplification, conspiracy theories, we are going to be permanently suspending those accounts.
Conspiracy theories, that's another thing.
Inciting violence and having real world harm. I think we've seen that, in fact, they are, since coming back from the timeout, to de-escalate the situation in other places around the world where we've seen violence unfold as a result of either misleading information or coded rhetoric.
Coded rhetoric.
So a lot of our learnings here have come from other markets.
Pause it for a second. So a lot of our learnings here, in the United States, come from other markets. Other countries are dictating what they're doing here in the United States. And that's good news.
Oh, it's always good to follow the CCP blueprint.
Yeah. Right. The Communist Party China they do some great things. And Twitter could learn a lot from them, and obviously has.
It has.
Let's see what else she had to say.
So, in that sense, we do feel like this is our global approach. We need to be very focused on being able to enforce any of these policies or enforcement decisions we make at scale. I think long term we want to be in terms of building trust and enforcing policies consistently and providing adequate notice before we take a very aggressive step like a permanent suspension. There's also been a lot of questions about retros, of course we're going to do a retro. I mean, we're in the midst of a retro around the election generally. This will be most definitely folded into it. What we saw Wednesday morning was really concerning to us, obviously. So a small team gathered from Trust and Safety. We were discussing the potential for violence to happen, and we decided to escalate our enforcement of the civic integrity policy and use a label that disabled engagements to stop the spread of potentially inflammatory content, which is the content around election interference, election fraud, stealing the election, that type of thing. We are going to conspiracy theories. We are going to be permanently suspending those accounts.
We are doing everything we can to ensure that Twitter is being used in a positive way, that positively affects society.
Okay. All right. So Jack and his, underlings are doing everything they can to ensure that Twitter is being used in a positive way. Is there a single thing on Twitter that's positive?
Well, I mean, when I post
there might be a few
animal videos.
I'll bet Twitter is 80% negative. Come on, I mean, no matter what you're talking about, somebody insulting somebody else, somebody mocking someone else, somebody calling someone else a traitor, a liar, a thief, whatever, a douchebag. I mean, there is nothing positive about Twitter. Almost nothing. It is a cesspool of humanity. Cesspool. Despicable. Just, I mean, there's no words. How do you even describe what's going on right now? Well, we'll take a minute and think about that. In the meantime, let me tell you about Rough Greens. Rough Greens is vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Oh, my. It's just some of what you're going to get when you pick up a bag of Rough Greens for your dog. It's not dog food. It's a supplement you put on your dog's food. If you didn't know it already, most dog food, that dry kibble stuff that you put in his or her bowl every day, that's all dead food. They sterilize it so that it has a really long shelf life. Has to last 2 to 3 years in the grocery store. So it's filling, but doesn't really contribute to your dog's health at all. It's like the Big Mac of dog food. Rough Greens, of course, as I mentioned, isn't a dog food. It's a supplement that you sprinkle on the dog's food. And it's going to give your dog a jump start on a new and healthier life. They'll be active like you remember them being. Their coats will be shinier and brighter. Dogs absolutely love it. And it's incredibly good for them. My dog won't even touch her food unless Rough Greens is sprinkled on top. If she comes in and somebody's forgotten to sprinkle it on top, she sniffs it and walks away. Then you sprinkle the Rough Greens on it, and bam, it's gone in a minute and a half. The difference in her energy alone is really unbelievable.
So does she gobble it up or gobble it down?
Gobbles it up.
Okay.
She gobbles it up.
Gobbles it up.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
If you've got a dog, you should really try this. Get the Rough Greens Jumpstart Bag today for just $14.95. Start the process of getting your dog healthier and happier. If you want to see your dog thrive again, go to roughgreens.com/blaze. That's RUFF greens.com/blaze.
Beware, Pat Gray is unleashed.
Okay, so just heard some woman at Twitter who's in charge of shutting down people's speech. We also have this Alex Stamos, who's formerly of Facebook, talking on, I believe this was CNN.
Yeah, Brian Stelter.
Reliable sources, yeah, with Brian Stelter, talking about how to stifle and stop conservative thought.
information crisis that has been perpetuated, in my view, by platforms like the one we're used to work, Facebook, as well as Twitter and others.
It's really hard because what's happening is people are able to seek out the information that makes them feel good. That is what's happening, is that people have so much choice now. They can choose what their news sources are. They can choose what influencers they want to follow.
Pause it for a second. Choice is just so terrible, unless, of course, you're choosing to end the life of a baby in the womb.
That's the one choice you're afforded.
The one choice the left likes. In fact, they love it. They're in love with that one choice. Anything else? Nope, sorry. You can't choose because you don't know how. You get into way too much trouble if we, the elites in society, don't tell you what to consume. See what else he had to say.
They want to follow, and they can try to seal out anything that helps them question that. And I think that
the left doesn't do that,
a really core issue with how our freedoms as Americans and the way we've treated press freedom in the past is being abused by these actors. In that we have given a lot of leeway, both in the traditional media and on social media, to people to have a very broad range of political views.
And we shouldn't do that.
It is now in the great economic interest of those individuals to become more and more radical. And I think one of the places you can see this is on the fact that you now have competitors to Fox News on their right, OANN and Newsmax, which are carried by all the major cable networks. Who are trying to now outflank Fox on the right, because the moment Fox introduced any kind of realism into their reporting, immediately a bunch of people chose to put themselves into a sealed ecosystem. And they can do that both on cable, they can do it online, and that becomes a huge challenge.
Just play something negative that Joe Biden has said, or some of his screw-ups for somebody on the left. They will be shocked. In fact, it's happened. We have seen campus reform go out and talk to students about things that Biden has said. And at first they attribute it to Trump. And so the students all hate it and they think it's terrible. And then they're told, no, that actually came from Joe Biden. And they can't believe it. Why? Because of their sealed off ecosystem. That's why. They don't go to Fox News or talk radio or Newsmax, OANN, ever.
And that's what this guy is advocating for, that we are forced to live inside that same bubble as well.
Right.
It's the Cass Sunstein thing. They want to nudge us. Like, look, you got choice. You can do CNN or MSNBC.
Right.
We might let you watch Fox News, but you're going out to these other sources.
We can't have that.
No.
We can't have that. We can't have other thought. We can't have diverse opinions. No. We can have diverse people thinking the same thing, but we can't have diverse opinions. Let's see what else you had to say.
Can do that both on cable, they can do it online, and that becomes a huge challenge of figuring out how do you bring those people back into the mainstream of fact-based reporting and try to get us all back into the same consensual reality.
Right think, baby.
Shoo-wee. 1984. Welcome to it in 2021. He had more to say, comparing Republicans to Islamic extremism.
And can you? Is that possible? Seems like that's an open question.
It's hard. I mean, I think we got to do a couple things. Okay. One, there needs to be an intentional work by the social media companies collaborating together to work on violent extremism in the same way they worked on ISIS. When I started at Facebook in 2015, number one challenge from a content perspective was the abuse of social media by the Islamic State. And there was a collaboration between the tech companies and between the tech companies and law enforcement to make it impossible for them to use the internet to recruit and radicalize mostly young Muslim men at the time around the world. Now we're talking about domestic audience in the United States. And the challenge is going to be partially that, ISIS did not have a domestic constituency in the United States Congress. But there is over half of the Republicans in Congress voted to overturn the election. And there will be a continual political pressure on the companies to not take it seriously. So I think first, you have to focus on those violent extremists, and those companies have to be brave in that way. And second, we have to turn down the capability of these conservative influencers to reach these huge audiences. There are people on YouTube, for example, that have a larger audience than daytime CNN. OAN.
No.
And they are extremely radical and pushing extremely radical views. And so it's up to the Facebooks and YouTubes in particular to think about
Facebook
whether or
and
not they
YouTube.
want to be effectively cable networks for disinformation. And then we're going to have to figure out the OANN and Newsmax problem.
Wow.
You know, that these companies have
Figure out
freedom
the
of
problem.
speech, but I'm not sure we need Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, and such to be bringing them into tens of millions of homes.
Aren't you?
This
You're
is
not sure?
allowing people to seek out information if they really want to, but not pushing it into their faces, I think is where we're going to have to go here.
Okay. So if it's available on a cable network, like a cable system, okay, out of 500 channels, you got OANN. You're pushing that right into the face of
Right in
people.
their face, man.
That's right in their face. First of all, you have to turn on the television. You have to seek it out. You probably don't have any idea. Even most conservatives probably don't know much about OANN. But that's pushing it in their face.
So wait a minute, it's not like in a hotel when you turn it on and it's got that like main screen that just scrolls through the little advertisements and stuff going on in the hotel. That's not what your TV does? Because when I turn my TV on, it's right on OANN News. I can't figure out how to change that setup. It seems kind of odd. I didn't leave it on that channel. It's right in my face.
Listen to how they dance around the First Amendment.
A dance around it.
They're
butchering
setting
it
it on fire. They really are.
Think about this. He's saying we got to talk to the cable companies and not carry it. We got to talk to Facebook and YouTube to not carry it.
Yeah.
Right?
Or carry any conservative thought.
We've got to go after the constituency in Congress that support this stuff. I mean, but if you want this information, you can go get it. But wait, where? That's
the thing.
I'm telling you, man.
So they're trying to remain. They're trying to appear as though they support the First Amendment and free speech, and they don't. They don't. Why? Because they can't compete on the battlefield of ideas. They can't compete.
They're admitting they lost.
Yeah, they lost completely. So now they have to just shut us up by whatever means. And if that means setting fire to the U.S. Constitution, so be it. They'll tell you they love the Constitution as they're lighting the match. Yeah, I love this document. That's why I'm burning it.
I mean, it used to be in the good old days, the fairness doctrine. They'd say, okay, OAN, you want to do your conservative stuff? Well, you've got to give equal time to a BLM and an Antifa spokesperson during the day. Now they're just like, screw you. We don't even want to see your network. We don't even know it exists.
People can't even have access to it. So that's what they're doing. It's amazing to watch. The removal of access to sharing your views with the American people. Man, they are cutting us off at every single avenue. Oof. Chilling. Chilling, or is it just me?
Good times, right?
Good times.
Hey, tomorrow's a big day, too.
Yeah, it is.
A little something going on. But I wonder how the new administration in Washington, they wouldn't feel that. That's a radical, crazy view that we just heard from that guy. No way they have help in the government with that.
No, right.
Sniff, sniff.
It's hard to believe that this is the America that we live in. We've got to stand up to it. It has to stop. We can't just roll over and play dead for this like we have so many other things, like we did abortion. And we just left it to him because it was too divisive, and it's splitting us apart. We've got to be, let's just stop talking about it. Okay, we're not going to change anybody's mind. Let's just stop talking about it. We have to be unconcerned about the fact that they're calling us radicals, insurrectionists, violent. We have to just ignore it and push forward to put a stop to this. Otherwise, we're not going to have any voice, and we're not going to win any elections ever again. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Welcome. Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Smarkster tweets, Twitter makes seedy gas station bathrooms look pristine. Doesn't it, though? DMX DM, does Jack ever look like he's not high or homeless? No. No, is the answer to that. And from Who Among Us, I didn't see Batacalf care on Biden's little list there.
Oh, no.
Right? That was supposed to be day one, wasn't it?
Rock and I think it's a right.
A right.
For people to have Batacalf care.
That's what he thinks. It's a right to have Batacalf care. So where's that on day one?
I don't know.
Or this.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Yeah, true international pressure. What about that on day one? Where's that? What, do we have to wait all the way to day 2 on that? I hope not. Man. You know who doesn't have to wait? Are the illegal immigrants that are on their way here. Some 8,000 to 12,000 people, which is great. A migrant activist group representing the caravan is calling for the Biden administration to honor its commitment.
Okay.
Here they come. Migrant rights group Pueblos Sin Fronteras issued a statement on behalf of the people participating in the first caravan of 2021. We recognize the importance of the incoming government of the United States having shown a strong commitment to migrants and asylum seekers, which presents an opportunity for the governments of Mexico and Central America to develop policies and a migration management that respect and promote the human rights of the population in mobility.
That sounds good.
What? We will advocate that the Biden government honor its commitments. And you know what? He probably will. Joe Biden probably will honor the commitments that he's made to illegal alien non-citizens who are blatantly telling the world we're about to spit in the face of all Americans and their bullcrap laws. We don't care about them one iota. We're going to do whatever we want to do. You know, while so many Americans, millions, are suffering without jobs right now because of the freaking shutdowns, Joe Biden will more than likely allow 8,000 to 12,000 people to flood across our border and demand that they be given one of the most precious gifts on this planet, United States of America citizenship and everything that comes with it. He's going to give it to them. They'll demand that they receive health care and a free education, that they get jobs, places to live. They want homes. They want their relatives to be allowed to come in as well. They'll bring in whatever baggage with them that they have, and we won't know anything about them, except that they bring intense poverty, some diseases, no doubt, including COVID-19. In some cases, gang activity. But don't worry about it. Biden will welcome them and give them everything they want.
But do they, seriously, I mean, is Biden sending signals? I mean, why would you blame Biden for any of this? It's not like they're referring to him by name they march.
No, they actually are.
On their way northward, they're actually saying
they actually are,
his name. They're not just coming here coincidentally around January 20th.
Yeah, let me show you one immigrant talking about somebody by name.
Okay, well.
Helping us get to the U.S. Cut 7.
For your people. What I want for my people, I just want patience and pace that we can get to the U.S. because they're having a new president. Where's Biden? He's going to help all of us. He's given us 100 days to get to the U.S. and give us legal mental paper so we can get a better life for our kids and family.
Okay, great. All right. Perfect.
Well, then I stand corrected.
So, yes, he has specifically apparently told them, I'm giving you 100 days to get here. I don't remember that speech.
That's what I was going to say. Okay. Like, wait a minute. This guy's got more information than us. What is this 100 days thing?
All right, I'm giving you 100 days to get here. And if you do, all your dreams will come true. I will make everything happen for you. Don't worry about it.
I'm looking this up because he's referring to something. He's giving us 100 days.
That's unreal. Can you imagine this? In the midst of this pandemic that they're so freaked out about that they harp on every single day, all day. And now you're just going to allow 12,000 people. We have no idea about their health status. We don't know where they've been. We don't know where they're going. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they've been exposed to. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ollie, ollie, all come free. That apparently was the cry of Joe Biden after he won the election. You see a 100-day thing? He's top. I think they probably conflated that with the first 100 days
that's what it looks like.
of my administration, and that means that they have 100 days to get here.
I got news for you, brother. You got more than 100 days.
Oh, yeah.
Take your time, man.
Right.
Sightsee along the way. But his day one promise on immigration is send a bill to Congress on day one.
Day one.
Quote, for legislative immigration reform that will modernize our immigration system, end quote. Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yay! Yeah, it'll modernize it. It'll make 11 million people citizens. That's what he wants to do, and there's nobody that can stop him right now. Who's going to stop him? Just all 11 million that they continually talk about when we know darn good and well. It's more like 20 million. 25 million illegals that are here. They've been using the 11 million figure since I was in Houston. In 2005, they were talking about 11 million people.
Yeah, that's a static number. Come on.
Like it's never changed.
Yeah.
In the last 16 years, still 11 million people.
Yeah, they just get here and that number stays. In fact, they don't even procreate, Pat.
No.
So.
We know that not to be true.
What?
Don't we? Yeah,
we know what you're talking about.
Pretty much know that not to be true.
I love this. On the Biden-Harris website, there's a hyperlink in that story I was just reading. It's the Biden plan to secure environmental justice and equitable economic opportunity.
Yeah.
They're not even talking about immigration. That's buried in this thing. Remember when immigration was the topic?
Yeah, it needs to be again.
Well, now it's just part of the package. It's part of like a Green New Deal and environmental justice, equitable economic opportunity. Oh, yeah, and immigration's a part of that, too.
Well, they have hammered the cages so hard that if you stand up and say, wait a minute, then you're a racist and you're inhumane and you're in favor of taking civil rights, human rights from people. So again, they're so effective at calling us names and shouting us down that we kind of give up and curl up in a corner somewhere.
Well, Joe Biden was a part of building those cages, as we know. Obama administration. Do you think Joe's been building cages over the last 4 years as a private citizen that he could employ as president, or did he just wait till he's back in office? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
Since he's one of the architects of that plan.
There'll be no cages because everybody just comes in scot-free. We just pile in, head wherever you're going. In fact, can we give you a lift? Can we put you on a plane? On us, of course, and we'll fly you wherever you want to go. And we'll have a house waiting for you when you get there. How about that?
Oh, wow.
And, of course, the refrigerator has to be stocked. You've got the right to have food, so we'll stock your fridge for you.
This is kind of a good deal.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if I'm an immigrant and I'm down there and I see, wait, Biden's in office? That guy that was with Obama? Let's go. Let's go, kids. We're headed north.
Yep.
Totally. I don't blame them. I blame our failure of leadership to enforce the sovereign borders of America.
And if you don't like the fact that we just cave in and give them everything we want, what a selfish, evil person you are.
Sure.
This is the most prosperous nation on earth. You can't just give a little bit to these people?
Yeah, open your arms, America. I mean,
open your arms and your hearts.
Right. The first act of these people when they get to America is to break our laws.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
What's the problem? Of course we're a nation of laws.
This is going to be a fun ride.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about realestateagentsitrust.com because we're not illegal immigrants, so we actually have to pay for our homes, and we actually have to find them on our own, and we actually have to do the work. Like if you want to sell your home, do you know all the current trends in real estate? Do you know what color people like when they're shopping for homes, that they want what kind of appliances they want, what sort of cabinetry, what should it look like? Should you replace the countertops or the floors? I mean, there's so many decisions you have to make. So it's great to turn to the experts who really know, and that's Real Estate Agents I Trust. These agents have all been closely vetted by Glenn's team because it's his company, so he wanted to make sure he had only the best in the market. So when you're buying or selling, or especially if you're doing both and relocating to a new area, you need a realtor you can trust. realestateagentsitrust.com. The name really says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
But again, don't say anything about it because you're a racist if you do. Okay? You're a xenophobe, a homophobe, Islamophobe. You're afraid and you're a hater. And we can't have that. So we're just gonna shut you down. You know, there's one person who surprises us on a semi-regular basis. And that's Bill Maher. Bill Maher can be either the most agonizing person on this planet or somebody you say, wow, thank you. And that was the case when he talked about Trump voters, if you can believe it.
As last week was, worst school trip ever. Let's not confuse 5,000 people with 74 million.
Thank you.
Yes, even supporting the insurrection in spirit is, well, deplorable. But there's a difference between holding illiberal beliefs and acting violently on them. At least that's what they always told me about Islamic terrorism.
Yeah!
I keep wrestling on this show with the hard question of how do Americans, all of us, learn to share a country with you can't stand? I've preached, and still do, that you can hate Trump, but not all the people who like him.
Thank you.
And as counterintuitive as it may seem, you can like something run by without being one yourself. Just ask Chick-fil-A. There's been so much liberal happy talk this week, each other about how, oh, this is the end of the Republicans now. Yeah, just like Watergate was the end of the Republicans, and Bush after Katrina was, and now it's Trump. Please, does anyone think that no matter who's running in 2024 on Election Day, it won't be extremely close? I'll bet anyone out there a quadrillion zillion dollars it will be. Because 74 million Trump voters are not self-deporting, and neither are we. One of the casualties in this attack on the Capitol this month was Ashley Babbitt. She was a Trump-loving small business owner. She had a pool cleaning company right down the road here in San Diego. She was an Air Force vet who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and she lost her life trying to prevent Biden from becoming president, even though she had voted for the Obama-Biden ticket not that long ago.
Wow.
But somehow she came to believe that if Joe became president, horses full of Greeks would rape our women and Georgia would go communist. She is the tragedy of the modern Republican voter personified. At the greed and corruption that, yes, has squeezed the middle class hard, but always coming up with the wrong answer to who is doing most of this squeezing. She was in financial trouble because in order to keep her business afloat, she resorted to a short-term loan with an interest rate of 169%.
What?
That's right. She was being charged 169% interest and went to Washington so she could chant, "Stop the steal!" She died for a second Trump term, even though that would have solved exactly none of her problems. The same mistake made by all of her friends in the Waffle House Brigade. Guys, you are storming the wrong building. The feet up shouldn't have been on Pelosi's desk. They should have been on Trump's tanning bed. You thought Trump was going to be your bull in the china shop? Yeah, he was, but you were the china. So, should Ashley Babbitt have applied better logic in seeing that her real problem in life wasn't pedophile Democrats or Antifa, and that people like Elizabeth Warren were actually the ones who were at least trying to do something about predatory lending and economic exploitation? Yes, yes. But not everyone can watch MSNBC all day. She had other priorities like fighting overseas. And maybe, since all politics is local, All she knew was that she lives in a state that seems to care more about her toxic whiteness than her toxic brokenness. And that the state that's run entirely by Democrats? Yeah, they didn't stop anyone from charging her 169% interest on a loan either.
All right, got it.
It shouldn't be that surprising.
So there's some agonizing material within the surprise of him actually supporting 74 million people who voted for somebody he doesn't like. That's the way it used to be, it seems like, in this nation. That even if you voted for the other guy, that's all right. We can sit down and have dinner together. It's fine. Instead, now, we want to strangle each other. And he's just saying, look, you can dislike Trump. That's fine. That doesn't mean all 74 million people who voted for Trump are racists and haters and deserve to die. Because that's the prevailing feeling among Democrats right now. At least the ones in office. And many of those we see and hear on news reports. They all seem pretty hateful toward anybody whose opinion is different from theirs. And when you go on Twitter, which Jack is trying so hard to be positive with, and you see all the negativity, it's pretty hard to believe that we can come together. Well, there's Bill Maher kind of extending an olive branch to us. Let's grab it. It's amazing. 888-900-3393. Also, the latest on Parler. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has some demands. I think we mentioned that yesterday. But she really means business this time. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. 900-3393 at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. For now. Looks like Parler, the Parler CEO says that they should be up and running again by the end of January. So it's the 19th now. We're talking about almost another 2 weeks. Jeez. That's a process, apparently.
Yeah, and there's so many conservative outlets out there that are trying to fill this void. Be interesting to see if any of them stick.
Yeah.
While Parler is away.
I mean, this is a great chance for their competitors. All right. The FAA has announced a new policy, a zero-tolerance policy for unruly passengers. So if you get crazy on a flight, you're pissed off, you start yelling or carrying on in any way, they don't even have to warn you now. They just remove you from the flight. So flyers that fight each other or with the airline staff are going to be dismissed and then face charges as well, this is going to be great. This is a guaranteed catastrophe because zero tolerance always means zero common sense. Get ready for this to go sideways quickly. Zero tolerance in schools was a nightmare for people, for kids. I mean, there were so many kids, like the level 2 look-alike firearm, okay? I'm sorry, zero tolerance for any kind of guns or anything that looks like a gun. It's my hand. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're expelled from school anyway. Huh, okay. A girl who uses an ancestral envelope opener. You know, what are they? The thing that you just slide in under the...
Yeah, I just call it a...
Yeah, it's an... You call it
envelope
an opener.
That's the technical term.
That's what I awkwardly call it as well.
Letter opener.
Letter opener.
Sure. You call it letter opener. I call it envelope opener.
Yeah, that's what I call it too. And so I remember in Houston there was an instance of a honors student. She had gotten straight A's for years. She had an ancestral letter opener that came from Korea or something. They kicked her out of school for using it because they have a zero tolerance policy. This is going to go so badly at the end.
There was a kid who was expelled from her school in Atlanta about 20 years ago for having a Tweety Bird keychain.
Oh, jeez.
Because the chain is considered a weapon in the school. But the principal, being a moron, and the administration above him as well, the chain was probably 2 inches, 3 inches long, and it was, again, a Tweety Bird keychain. Google this. It's the most fascinating story.
There's zero tolerance.
Zero freaking tolerance. But
zero tolerance.
It says you can't have a chain on campus. That's considered a weapon.
How many times do we have to tell you?
These are the people teaching your kids.
Yeah, exactly.
No common sense, man.
And that's why when this carries over to the airline industry, it's going to be a disaster, just like it's been in our public schools. I got some tweets here. John Polk tweets, Baskin-Robbins will be the next victim of cancel culture. Too many choices. The home of 31 flavors will only be allowed to have rainbow sherbet, chocolate, and cinnamon. Not sure exactly why those three, but okay. Yeah. The rainbow sherbet is obviously for the rainbow LGBTQIA2+. Then you got your chocolate and your cinnamon. Okay. Yeah. No vanilla, obviously. Tobin for Pope, one of the biggest problems on the left is they don't understand human nature. The more they push right-wing views to the fringe, the more appealing they make those views. And their oppression then validates those views. From Kara 3022, anyone else notice these oppressed refugees seem to have pretty nice clothes, shoes, and yes, cell phones? I don't know, some of which cost them $1,000.
You know what? That video we played of that migrant guy coming up here. Yeah, Joe Biden says we got 100 days. Let's go. Come on, guys. The longer version of that interview, he goes on to say, it's tough without internet access along the way to be able to keep in touch with my family back home.
Yeah, well, it would be, right?
So I don't know if he just doesn't have a roaming plan.
So their 4G doesn't work well?
Right. He doesn't, that's what you're going to do. Before you head north, you got to make sure you've got roaming in the Central America roaming plan.
Well, I think that's one of the promises Biden made to him. I will make sure that your phones have affordable roaming plans. And not just this crappy 4G stuff. We're going to give you the 5G treatment. Right. And that's guaranteed.
And if I see LTE pop up on my phone, I'm throwing it into the sea. Pissed.
And I want it replaced right now by America.
Yeah, and I was about to say, Joe Biden says, but you got to get here first. Well, that's not true. We'll send the money overseas to plenty of countries to invest in their own infrastructure.
That's really inconvenient for them if you make them wait till they get here. That's, a week or two from now. Stop it. No, they must be reimbursed immediately.
Can we just like do a flyover and parachute some smartphones down to them as they're making their way?
I think that's too dangerous. I think the plane needs to land. Somebody needs to deliver all that stuff by hand to each of the individuals.
Wait.
That have been wronged as they're seeking asylum here in the U.S.
If the plane's going to land, maybe they should just get on board and fly back with the pilot.
Maybe.
Instead of this walking through the mountains and stuff.
Maybe. Yep. Let's see. From Attack Yuki, imagine walking from Honduras to the U.S. to escape poverty and corruption, only to arrive and find poverty and corruption.
Welcome home.
Oh, that's so not funny. It's so sad, but becoming more and more true every day. Amy What's-Her-Face tweets, if you really want to experience the fruits of American citizenship, you have to leave the country and re-enter illegally. Yeah, that's a good point. Very true. And speaking of our friends in Mexico, this is pretty amazing. Mexico's president has compared the social media censorship in the United States to the Spanish Inquisition. Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said safety concerns, quote, cannot be used as a pretext to suspend freedom of expression, unquote.
Wow.
How sad is it when Germany, France, and Mexico have to tell us, hey, you guys are squelching freedom of speech up there. You better stop it.
And then you've got Trudeau in Canada telling Biden, let's talk before you cancel the Keystone XL pipeline there.
Jeez.
I tell you, man, it says everything.
Sure does. He is intending to make a proposal on the subject of social media censorship, with the head of state criticizing what he said was overreach on the part of the tech companies. Man. In a daily briefing on Thursday, Obrador vowed that at the next G20 meeting we have, I'm going to make a proposal on this issue. Thank you. We have to We have to turn to the president of Mexico for help and relief now in our country, but thank you for it. He said, yes, social media should not be used to incite violence and all that, but this cannot be used as a pretext to suspend freedom of expression. How can a company act as if it was all-powerful, omnipotent, as a sort of Spanish Inquisition on what's expressed?
Seriously. You know what? Read that quote again, and instead of Obrador of Mexico saying it, say, the U.S. president told Mexico.
Right.
Because that's what it should be.
Right. Oh, man. How could a company act as if it was all-powerful, omnipotent, as a sort of Spanish Inquisition on what is expressed? What a sad time we find ourselves in here. Hopefully, and people are so frustrated right now that they don't want to hear it. But this is a really bad time to bury your head in the sand, because the problem's going to be a lot worse when you pull it out. A lot worse. We got to pay attention here and do something about it. Germany, who's been lecturing us on oppression, is now quarantining COVID quarantine breakers, and they're holding them in refugee camps, detention centers. Wow.
So I was about to say, good, things are getting back to normal. Now Germany's doing something stupid.
Yeah.
But wow, that is so far gone. Good. So we've got refugee camps in Germany now.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Those don't typically work out so well.
They're under police guard, these camps. Officials in the state of Saxony, which is experiencing one of the worst outbreaks in the European nation, have already approved plans to hold quarantine breakers in a fenced-off section of a refugee camp.
Wow.
Another state, Brandenburg, also plans to use a section of a refugee camp.
Wow, that's
okay.
Good.
Now, this isn't for the sick patients to get them quarantined and away from society. This is for quarantine breakers as a punishment. Sorry, now you got to be in a detention center. Oh. States have been granted powers to do this because of the Disease Protection Act.
Oh, the disease, the DPA.
Yeah. It's an emergency law that was passed by the German Bundestag in March and renewed in November. Well, great. Joanna Kotar, a member of the populist Alternative for Germany party, tweeted that those involved in the centers had been reading too much Orwell.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Mild.
Germany has a populist political party? Careful.
Careful, yeah. Look out.
And she's the one talking common sense right now.
Jeez.
Okay.
Pretty amazing.
So this is... What a fun time.
And here in America, it just continues to be unbelievable. Really, it continues to be German-like. This is fascism. What's going on with these social media companies like Facebook and Twitter? Facebook permanently banned that retailer last week, Patriotic, from advertising pro-America products. Leanne Miller, she was on Glenn's show, I think last Thursday or Friday, I don't know. And we keep trying to get to the story. But she's gotten no explanation from Facebook after her ad account for the business was disabled by Facebook seemingly for no other reason than being patriotic. She sells clothes that have like American flags on them.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ooh,
whoa.
Dangerous. Can you imagine?
I cannot.
Dangerous. She's obviously an insurrectionist.
Yeah.
A terrorist, domestic terrorist.
Thank you. Keep going.
A hater.
Thank you.
Yeah. A xenophobe.
Yes.
Xenophobe.
Yes.
Because what's wrong with, say, the flag of, I don't know, Canada or Venezuela, for that matter? Well, it doesn't happen to be our flag, but so what? We shouldn't be proud of this country. Miller, who's 50, she's a wife, mother, and business owner. In 2019, when her youngest son, Hollis, started college, she decided that after spending all kinds of years as a stay-at-home mom raising kids, she's going to get back to work and help contribute to the financial stability of her family. So she started this company. It's been going well. She founded Patriotic, an online retailer that sells various clothing items. She says, it took about a year to get things exactly the way I wanted them, the products and the website. The apparel sold by Patriotic Me has, obviously, a patriotic flair. Shirts are adorned with red, white, and blue, or an outline of the United States. Oh, man.
Wow. That'll learn you.
Hoodies with the American flag on it. Hats you could proudly wear to a 4th of July cookout.
Oh, no.
Or any other day just because you love America. Oh, I see.
I see where this is going, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you understand what kind of danger this woman is.
Yep.
She said, I'd been a stay-at-home mom for years, and I was glad to be back in the workforce doing a little something to contribute. I believe in my product. I have a great product. I love the shirts. They're comfortable. We get great reviews on them from the people who have bought them.
From other haters.
Exactly. And I really feel like I was doing something good for the country to promote patriotism. Oh, get this. A portion of every sale is donated to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, which is a charity founded to honor the sacrifice of firefighter Stephen Siller, who gave his life to save others. Jeez, she said, I chose from the very beginning not to be partisan at all. I feel like that's so important. I want everybody to be patriotic. Well, there's your problem. The Democrats are not going to be patriotic. The left isn't patriotic. They hate this country and are trying their damnedest to fundamentally transform it. And now she realizes that as Facebook shuts down her advertising ability. I guess she can still have the site. She just can't advertise it anymore. Oh, okay. Well, that's helpful. That's going to be real helpful.
What a country.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. All right. Let me tell you about something that is good. Something that could really be great for your kids. We all know the impact of too much screen time for kids, whether it's the content online or shortening their attention span or the loss in creativity. We need better ways for our children and grandchildren to use their downtime. So that's why I'm so happy to tell you about Annie's Kit Clubs. They have the perfect subscription box for both boys and girls. They have the Young Woodworkers Kit Club, which is a monthly subscription that puts real tools into your child's hands, starting with a great kid-sized hammer. Every month, your child will receive an all-in-one woodworking kit with the materials and the tools kids need to make an awesome woodworking project with minimal supervision. Another amazing club is Annie's Creative Girls Club, which sends 2 fun craft projects every month, complete with easy-to-follow instructions. That will kickstart her creativity through painting, beading, and a lot more. And then your kids can actually develop some skills and master real-world building or new crafting techniques while expressing their creativity. This makes a great gift, too. Go to Annie'sKitClubs.com/Pat, and they'll give you 75% off your first shipment. That's Annie'sKitClubs.com/Pat. And thank you for returning with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Michael NP1701 tweets, wait, does that mean that the caravan is suffering with dial-up service? Yeah, because one of them was complaining about internet service. Mm-hmm. Can they not search the web like they like? Injustice, I say. Well, and of course, so does the Lumbee tribe.
My name is Rhonda Locklear.
Rhonda.
I'm from Pembroke.
And
I'm a member of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
Any excuse we can get.
I have 2 children.
Thank you.
And like any mother, I want the best for my boys.
Best for my boys.
Jacob, my oldest, is a transferring student to UNC Pembroke. And Isaac is in the 8th grade at Pembroke Middle School.
Okay, got it.
Like most families across the state who either don't have access to high-speed internet who can't afford it.
Or can't afford it.
We were stuck with dial-up service in our home until 2 months ago.
Until 2 months ago.
I feel that this has put my family, my sons in particular,
terrible disadvantage.
At a severe disadvantage.
Yeah.
Isaac depends on the internet
right.
to complete his assignments for school.
Sure he does. Or
he often uses the internet to work on reports, projects, or often at times to just do research.
To just search for porn, whatever.
I watched him struggle with the dial-up service and observed him get frustrated because he could not move around on the web like he likes and needed to do. Seemingly easy assignments took him hours to complete.
Hours to complete.
It's very disheartening to watch.
You kidding me?
Wait, you watched?
Isaac got very upset, discouraged, and frustrated because he could not do what he needed to do.
Or like
as a mother, it breaks my heart and causes me to feel that I have failed him in some way.
You have. So that's probably a good feeling. Run with it. Miserable failure.
You could be her therapist.
Yeah, right? And get her through this thing, because it's been a while. So
wonder how...
should be past it by now.
Wonder how Jacob... And
her oldest.
Yeah, I wonder how he turned out.
I don't know.
What was his brother's name? Isaac?
Yes, Isaac and Jacob.
I bet they're hellraisers, man, because think about it. They grew up without internet and distractions from mama there.
They had to struggle with dial-up and couldn't search the web like they like. Are you kidding me? Yeah, you're right.
They went out and
caused
trouble.
They rebelled.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
despite clearly being named after biblical prophets, Isaac and Jacob.
You know they moved out like the day they could.
You bet they did.
I'm out of here. I'm going to where there's internet, Ma.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it. That's what they told her.
Think so?
Yeah, I do.
Boy, she's
kind of sad.
She's fun.
You know who else is fun right now is Katie Couric. The amount of people saying this is just staggering.
Yep.
Katie Couric is now saying that we should deprogram those in the cult of Trump. What does that mean? So, like, all 74 million people who voted for him need to be deprogrammed? Republicans need to be deprogrammed, all of them? Re-educated, deprogrammed. These are chilling words and thoughts, and that they're just outright saying it is absolutely incredible. Maybe she'll talk about it when she hosts Jeopardy coming up pretty soon. She's going to be one of the Jeopardy co-hosts. Hosts, I guess.
A guest host.
Guest host, yeah.
That'll be... Ooh, I'll be not tuning in that night.
Wow. Is she still doing that internet show? She's doing I don't know. Nobody wanted her anymore, so she went off on her own.
It's kind of like, why do you need high-speed internet if the only thing that's going to be allowed on it are people like Katie Couric?
Yeah. No thanks. I'm a pass on that.
I'm a pass on that. Okay, where's our team? All right, Pat Gray. I know you guys are listening in merchandise religiously.
I'm a pass.
We need a Pat Gray store shirt right now. I'm a pass on that.
We actually have a Pat head, Texas Bizzle, who wants Jeffy to host Jeopardy.
Oh, that would be awesome to have Jeffy as a guest host.
And they like these as the likely categories.
Okay.
18 spoons, milk, bougie sauces,
yes,
Coke Zero, and retrospectives. Funny. That's great.
I'll take bougie sauces for 400, Jeffy. Okay, first of all,
almost anything I don't like is a bougie sauce.
It's got to be in the form of a question.
All right, I got to tell you about Omega XL here, because if you're in pain, this could be your answer. This could be your way out. Back to freedom. The freedom to just live your life without continually being in pain. Omega XL, it's backed by 35 years of clinical research. It attacks the inflammation. It shuts it off. And then your pain goes away. Now, you probably tried all the pain relievers, ibuprofen and topical rubs. Those do nothing. A total of nothing for me. But Omega XL helped neutralize that pain. It built up in my system. After a week, I was starting to feel better. After 2 weeks, the pain was just gone. Try it yourself. Let's get you started by, when you order one Omega XL bottle, we'll give you a second for free. So you buy one, you get one free. OmegaXL.com/Pat. OmegaXL.com/Pat. Or call 800-844-4888. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Did you see Phil Spector died in prison the other day? 81, I think?
Yep.
81 years old. He was convicted, was it in 2006 or 7, somewhere in there, of murdering an actress. And it's so bizarre. I read a couple of different articles because I couldn't remember any motive for it. I don't know that anybody knows the motive there, but really tragic, really horrible. Also follows on the it follows what Eddie Van Halen, and who else was it that died recently in music? Phil Spector, Eddie Van Halen. Maybe that's it. It seems like there was another one that just happened fairly recently. Maybe not. 888-900-3393. Thing is, you know, if there's a rock and roll heaven, you know they got a hell of a band. I think that goes without saying. We can tell you about these tweets from Caffeinated Texan. Tweet number 1. Actually, we should all learn woodworking because of the Annie's Kit Club. They do woodworking. That way, when the Biden administration orders us to build our own gulags, we'll know how. Republic Mike tweets, based upon the rules of play, by 2 minutes into the speech, this is tomorrow, I guess, for the inauguration speech, I should be completely inebriated. Rachel and Leota playing Joe Biden bingo. There's such a thing as alcohol poisoning, you know.
Right.
So is the suggestion that you take a drink? Because that's not my suggestion.
No.
Being a non-drinker.
Comrade Snoobage
is suggesting take a drink when these things are said.
Which, again, we do not endorse.
No.
At all. We're just saying watch the speech and...
And fill in the...
Play bingo.
You're right.
Don't endorse the drinking.
That's Jim Beam Apple?
Yeah, it's Apple. Yeah, it's...
Apple what? Apple bourbon?
Yeah, I mean, it's just... yeah, that's what it is. It's apple liqueur infused with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Wow.
But it's just a prop. I mean, it's actually...
stuff. Just a prop. Okay.
It threw me off because it's actually apple juice.
Oh, okay.
In said bottle that looks like an alcoholic product, which, of course... We do not endorse.
No, we don't.
On this program.
At least I certainly don't.
I mean, it's, oof. No.
All right. 888-900-3393. 110,000 restaurants have now closed.
Oh, jeez, man.
Complete and total meltdown. Unlike anything we've ever seen before. If you ask Google how many restaurants there are in the U.S., it'll tell you that there are 660,755. Now, I just Googled it, and it said 1 million. It said 1 million. So if that's accurate, that's 1/10 of all restaurants that have closed.
But I mean, the good
because
news
of COVID.
Is we stopped the spread with all these lockdowns and the closing of businesses and shutting down livelihoods.
Exactly right, except for completely false.
Fixed it. We we fixed it.
Yeah, it's totally unfixed. Completely and totally unfixed.
Somebody put together a list of all of the studies that show that the lockdowns and the mandates did absolutely nothing. And I just tweeted it out this morning. Links to all 30 of these studies that have come out.
30 studies
that have
on
said,
things from masks to
all sorts of
all kinds of things
around the world
that we've heard
that just illustrate that we destroyed our quality of life for probably generations to come
for nothing. For things that are certainly at least ambiguous scientifically. And by the way, I forget what I was watching, but a commercial, some propaganda commercial came on about COVID-19. At the very end of it, they talk, it's encouraging us all to wear masks and wash your hands, blah, 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 the same old stuff. And at the end, it said, the science on wearing masks has never changed. Wait, what?
Come on, man.
Wait, that's just a bald-faced lie. It's just a flat-out lie.
I think we have no memories, man.
You're right. Or there's no such thing as digital recording.
Right. I mean, they think their audience is Dory the fish from Saving Nemo.
What are you
Finding Nemo?
They think that they can have us watching things with our own eyes, and they'll just tell us they don't exist, and we'll buy into it.
Okay.
And then we're the science deniers if we say anything against it. It's really something.
How insulting.
It is insulting. It just
and they
pissed
don't
me
care.
off.
They just do not care.
No, they don't, because it's working for them. At least on the left, it's working. The left buys into all of that stuff. Yep, that's true. Science doesn't change. That's fine. Yep, let's keep wearing the mask forever. Science is settled.
If there is a more clear indication of facts and feelings in the bold line between left and right, it's got to be this. Because if an official, let's just take Dr. Fauci, if he says something, oh, well, that feels right. I mean, look, I trust the guy. Look, he knows his stuff, blah, blah, blah. Whereas on the right, you're like, wait, he's saying the exact opposite that he said 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Does that not matter? Does that fact not matter? This is it's an abusive relationship. And
sure is.
Here we are.
I mean, it is so 1984-ish. It's unbelievable because they keep repeating the same lie until people actually believe it when they know it's not true. They know it's not true, but they keep pounding us with 2 + 2 = 5, and until we finally get to the point where we're so beaten down, okay, yes, I don't want the rat to eat my face. Okay, 2 + 2 = 5.
Listen to this excerpt from one of the studies this person put out. This is just an excerpt. And that's what's so helpful about all these links under each of these on this thread, which is now found on Twitter at Pat Unleash if you want to check it out. This is just an excerpt from one study. These strategies might not have saved any life in Western Europe. We also show that neighboring countries applying less restrictive social distancing measures experience a very similar time evolution of the epidemic. In other words, we would have been in the same place without destroying our world.
Yep. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, what do you say? What do you do?
Well, apple juice, I think, is helpful in times like these.
Yeah, all right. 888-900-3393. At least, we used to have a peaceful transition of power. I mean, remember back in 2016? Well, it was 2017 when President Trump took over and everybody was happy and things were wonderful and magical. Here's what Washington, D.C., just a reminder of what a peaceful time it was 4 years ago. Whoops.
Whoa, wait, well, they're breaking windows at businesses.
Huh. That's in Washington, D.C., and they're pounding on the windows and broke them.
Well, he's taking the oath of office in 2017.
Right, this is going on.
They're rioting in the streets of D.C.
And you hear the cops coming, and at least police still came.
I was about to say, the good old days when the police arrived on the scene, like, whoa, stop!
Okay, but that was a peaceful transition of power, because this has never happened before, and I just wanted to remind you of how things were so nice before. The left was so good about the election of Donald Trump.
Yep. It was good old days. Yeah, we don't even have the images of like the burning cars and all the fires that were around town.
Jeez.
Simpler times.
I mean, does anybody remember that? I didn't.
Wasn't even reported.
I remember that. I don't think anybody reported on it. But that was Inauguration 2017.
Now, I assure you, if a bunch of MAGA types are running around D.C. tomorrow doing that...
You think you might see it?
I think you might see... Yeah, you'll see that, and you'll see arrests, and...
Yeah.
Good times.
I think so.
And even more of a crackdown on your free speech.
Uh-huh. Yay! Let me tell you about Scoremaster. I know what can help a little bit in your life is getting a better credit score, your best possible credit score. The average American has about 97 points they can add to their credit score. 97 points, but they have no idea how to get them. Scoremaster knows how, though. Scoremaster isn't credit repair. It's credit science, and it helps you get your points fast. In fact, the average Scoremaster user adds 61 points in 20 days or less. And getting your plus points fast can save you a fortune before you apply for a loan or a credit card or refinance your home or buy a car. Again, yesterday I was watching, I don't know, something, saw a commercial come on for one of their competitors, and some guy proudly announcing, I raised my credit score 13 points. Ooh, wow. Congratulations. Or you could have gone to Scoremaster and raised it an average 61 points in just 20 days. It's great for business owners who use their credit score to finance their business. Scoremaster is even great for mortgage brokers who need an edge and love getting their clients better deals. It's really great for everybody. It even shows you the score consequences of spending too much or what happens with identity theft. Nobody else knows what Scoremaster does. Enroll in just minutes and see how many points. They'll show you how many plus points you can add to your credit score. Visit scoremaster.com/Pat. That's scoremaster.com/Pat.
Pat Gray returns.
Another great little demonstration in Seattle the other day as they shut down a Seattle freeway. They keep doing this. Here's BLM. In fact, they're trying to spray paint on the freeway itself, giant BLM letters. And here's what it looked like when they shut down the freeway. This has got to be... So they just stretch across the lanes, hand in hand. Police are on the scene finally. And now they all sit down on the freeway. And then you see traffic backed up who knows how many miles because these boneheads. What are you supposed to do with this?
I'm testing my brakes. That's what I'm going to do with that.
I'm going to drive around them. That's for sure. I'm sure the cops now have stopped traffic completely, but I would drive around them. And so the police actually do remove them, which is great. But you've already backed up traffic for who knows how long at this point. I mean, how does this happen where it's okay for you just to stretch out across the freeway and we'll just stop and wait? God, I just... so maddening. That your thing is all important, and what I have to do and what I believe is completely irrelevant, and it doesn't matter at all. I'm going to work, I'm going to the store, I'm taking a drive, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter at all.
And we get to hear about all of the heart attacks and people that had medical conditions associated with the Capitol and the surrounding area. Will you ever hear the stories of the people sitting in traffic right now that were racing? I got fired because I lost my job because I was late.
Right. What if there's a medical emergency in there?
Medical emergency is happening right now in that traffic jam. Maybe there's a pregnant woman going to give birth. Of course, that group right there.
I just want to get home and watch the game. Whatever it is. It could be something trivial. You shouldn't have the right to back up all these people just because you want to.
And they don't have the right.
They don't have the right.
The cops were hauling them off. I would like to see more police there.
Me too. Yeah, and I'd like to see them drag them by the hair.
Yep. And then kind of maybe just kind of sling them into the back of the car.
Yes.
Just gingerly, right?
Gingerly, but quickly.
Right.
And maybe not so gingerly.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, you don't think we can get 6 of you in the back seat of this Chrysler?
Let's see.
Watch this.
And then how many can we put in the trunk?
What's the record, boys?
A couple more.
What's the record of how many we've got in the back of a patrol car? Okay, so we're going to at least tie the record today. Be serious.
We got 6 in the back seat. Okay. We got 4 more in the trunk.
In the trunk?
That's almost everybody.
Yeah. Is that everybody? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's a straggler. Just put him on the roof.
I'm so tired of it. So I can't imagine how in Seattle, they're probably fine with it.
Well, they have the right to protest. You should be listening to their problems. I should check into what they're talking about now.
See, that's not going to endear you to those people, though. Even the progressives in Seattle want to get to where they're going without having a traffic jam like that. How does that help your cause in any way?
Have you ever... Maybe if you're listening right now, have you ever been impacted by traffic or road closure or some protest like this? A, and then B, then you went, you know what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, You know what? I'm with BLM now.
Yeah.
Because they impacted my day like this.
I'd love to hear about it. 888-900-3393. I have been impacted by a protest kind of like that.
And which group was it?
The Janitors for Justice in Houston.
Okay.
I can't remember what year, maybe 2004 or 5, somewhere in there. The janitors downtown in all the high rises were on strike. And so what SEIU did, because that's the union involved.
Right.
They bust down a whole bunch of protesters from Chicago, because those are the radicals who know how to piss people off.
Sure.
And they did. They went down Westheimer, which is one of the main thoroughfares in Houston, drove into the middle of the intersection, and dumped garbage into the middle of the intersection. So
well, that's thoughtful.
It just tied up traffic in every direction at that intersection because they just completely piled it all up.
And did the Sierra Club show up and beat him into submission for littering?
No, of course not. No, because it was a just cause. It was Janitors for Justice. They're looking for justice, Keith.
Justice.
You can't mess with anybody who's looking for justice. Racial justice, social justice, janitorial justice.
Janitorial justice.
Yes,
Double J.
It just doesn't matter if you're looking for justice. Then
and so
you're in the right. So I was real happy
sympathetic
with
to the cause.
Yeah, I was real happy with Janitors for Justice from then on.
Big pile of garbage
big
in the road.
Fan.
Who did this? You guys? Yeah, for justice.
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
I'm with you now.
Thank you for screwing up my day like this. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And it looks great. I mean, Houston's not polluted enough. That is awesome in the middle of the intersection like that. Thank you.
I will say the union protests in New York are slightly different than that. They get that big giant inflatable rat.
Oh yeah.
And they put it in front of the business that they're targeting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least they're not in the road. And it's kind of cool to see that rat.
They're not in the road though.
Like, oh look, the rat. It's been a few months since I saw a rat protest.
We
an
used to see that
rat.
driving into Midtown Manhattan all the time.
I think it's just one rat that they're just constantly having to patch up and the leaks and the tears and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Or is it like a whole? Is there like a inflatable rat garage that is like down the street?
I hope it's a garage because I'd hate to see the rat get beat up through too much use.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
I hate to.
You really don't want to see that.
See a knife pierce the side of the inflatable rat. That would just there goes your stupid protest. Of course, then they've got the drums that they bang on.
Yes.
Oh, if you guys. And nobody lives in New York now. No one works there. No one commutes there. But back in the day,
when people did live there,
you could hear where to avoid walking toward the bus or the train because you would hear the drum beats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, there's stupid protests around the corner. Guess I'll go down an extra block. New York life. Gotta love it.
Yep. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
Looking for a cute animal video?
No, I'm looking for...
You're not? The cutest animal video of all time. You're not looking for that one.
Not looking for that at all. No way, no shape, no form am I looking for a cute animal video. Okay. What I was looking for was UFO information because it just keeps coming fast and furious.
Yeah.
And Idaho is apparently the state ranking #1 per capita for seeing unexplained things in the sky. You would think that if aliens are coming here, extraterrestrials are coming to this planet, they would come to a place, I don't know, a little more populated. They would come to...
Is this per capita, though?
Yeah, it's per capita.
Okay, so... All right, well, I mean, you think they would go someplace weird, too. Hey, we're going to go sightseeing on Earth. Let's go to California, right?
Yeah, okay. It always seems to be in a cornfield or something. Why?
What is that?
Why don't you land on Times Square?
Have they not got enough samples of wheat yet?
Yeah. It's set down near the White House, the Capitol building. I don't know. Come out with your hands up so nobody shoots at you. But they're #1 in UFO sightings per capita, even more than New Mexico. That state, with the UFO Museum in Roswell, only ranked 5th. Huh. Imagine that. Sightings across the country ranged from tic-tac shaped sightings to giant triangles. Hear about these all the time. And swirling light balls. No tally was found on alien abductions, however.
Oh, no.
One phenomenon that generated the most UFO reports, especially in Idaho, was the Starlink satellites. In the past few years, SpaceX has launched 895 satellites, which can appear at certain times of night as a long string of white lights marching across the sky. That would be really cool to see.
I'd love to see it.
And I would be baffled by that, too. I would think that was something extraterrestrial, but it's not. And that's what, I mean, a lot of this stuff can be explained. So, but apparently it looks like a string of Christmas tree lights in a low Earth orbit, eventually circling the globe. Huh.
Man, I want to see. I want to see something.
I would love to see that. I didn't know they manifested themselves like that. Plus, NASA has discovered now a 10 billion-year-old planet unlike any other in deep space.
Let's go. I'm ready.
They're calling it a super-Earth. Number of planets described as super-Earths have been discovered in recent times, but researchers have recently spotted one unlike any other found to date. The planet, and again, they have such a knack for these catchy names.
Oh, cool. What's the name of this planet?
It's known as TOI 561b. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Wait, TOI
561b.
So I'm ready to move, and you can forward my mail to
TO1 561b.
Box A.
Drawer D. So this star system, according to a study published by the Astronomical Journal, is approximately, one of the planets is 50% larger than Earth, but takes half the time to orbit its star given the close proximity. The rocky planet orbiting TOI 561b is one of the oldest rocky planets yet discovered. Its existence shows that the universe has been forming rocky planets almost since its inception. Do you know how old the universe is?
5 years?
No, it's a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
5. It's like a college student guess. 5 years. 6 years?
I don't know. These are so hard. Too much pressure. Whatever.
I haven't studied that. We didn't study that.
Like, I don't know.
14 billion years. 14 billion.
Okay. So this guy's been around for 10 of those.
Of those 14 billion.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, the universe was in its infancy, just 4 billion years old when this planet started forming.
Baby universe.
Given its close proximity, discovered by NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite, TESS, it has an estimated average surface temperature of over 2,000 degrees Kelvin.
Wait, okay. That was my next question.
Wow.
What's the temperature?
Yeah, the temperature is a tad warm. Yeah, it's a little hot right now to host.
I had so much hope. I had already actually filled out my change of address form.
Yeah, it just got a little toasty on the planet.
3,140 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know that I can...
3,100 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah, I don't know that I can...
You need some sunblock, that's for sure.
That's not...
I'm going to go with SPF 35.
Promising anymore.
SPF 35, you should be fine.
Well then.
I mean, yes, you'll get a little bit of a tan, maybe a slight burn on your nose.
I was looking for a libertarian paradise, and strike.
Yeah. All right, we will see you. Hey, it's Inauguration Day tomorrow.
Yes!
Yay!
Yes!
Yay!
Only on the Blaze Radio Network.